guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and in today's video, we got a great show lined up for you. As you probably already know, today the Federal Reserve is going to be coming out and releasing a lot of statements on the way that the US dollar is going to be used and printed and inflated over the next couple of years. This is a very big update coming from the Federal Reserve, and we're going to be talking about it today, and it could have a very major implication on the price of Bitcoin. We're going to be talking about exactly what that might look like in today's stream. We're also going to be doing some technical analysis on some of your favorite cryptocurrencies. ADAX is one of the ones that we're going to be looking at today. It's one of the ones that is a decentralized exchange built on Cardano. We're going to take a look at that. We're going to look at Crow, also known as Crypto.com coin, and we're also going to be looking at Gala, one of the leading blockchain gaming platforms, as well as doing an absolute ton of Bitcoin technical and on-chain analysis. We're going to be talking about this rally from $33,000 to $38,000 on Bitcoin. Is this a real rally or is this a bull trap? We're going to talk about all of that and more in today's episode of Coffee and Crypto Live. If you are new here, we go live 9:30 Eastern every single weekday, and we're not going to miss a single show this entire quarter, and we cannot wait to bring you some content, so make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I am joined, as always, by my illustrious co-host, an amazing technical analyst, T.A. Tam. How you doing, Tam?
Well, I'm doing good. What is the full definition of illustrious? I don't think I've ever used the word
Illustrious is like,
correctly.
you know, the Queen's crown is illustrious. It's like royal.
I'm the Queen's crown.
You're the Queen's crown. There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
I'll take it. It was a good morning. You know, woke up. So we backed up our workout because Smay and I have started coming in at 8 o'clock now. So we woke up at 5 to work out this morning. And the truth, I thought I was going to be a little tired. I feel good.
I will say, I feel better than I thought I would.
Hey, I haven't introduced you yet, May.
Well, yeah, we're a package deal.
Oh, package deal. Oh, okay.
Sometimes he talks when I'm supposed to talk, and I'll talk when he's supposed to
that's
talk.
cute.
Yeah, no, it was a good day, though. Good morning. Good morning.
Illustrious, meaning
Hopefully the day
well-known,
ends as well as it
respected,
started.
and admired for past achievements.
I like it.
Yeah.
Queen's crown.
You're Queen's crown.
I'm Queen's crown.
He's
So
Queen's
the
crown.
Queen's crown is admired for past achievements.
We're also joined, as always, by Smay. How you doing, Smay?
Hi, so now I can talk.
Yes, now you
yeah,
can talk.
so guys, waking up at 5 is something I didn't think I would do, but I'm just made of something different, so I'm doing it. So
Yep.
it's just kind of how it goes. So
Terrible time to take a sip.
About to do a spit take all over our expensive camera equipment.
So I will say this, guys. I will say this. I'm definitely getting more muscular.
Okay.
More attractive.
Okay.
I feel better.
All right, Jonah Hill.
I just not laugh because it's not true. I just love how you're. I love how you're presenting it.
I'm so confident, and I was telling Tim we've been needing to get up earlier.
Yeah.
For a while.
Oh yeah. No, he had to finally
So-
push me. You know.
So I'd like to take this opportunity, guys, to shout out some people in the chat here. We have Crypto Sec Guy, Matt C, Adam Rourke, TZ, Mike Markle. I saw JoJo. We got Tom Wilkes, Alexandre Ignacio, Alan Carey. Ricardo Vinegas, and that's it. So I love you guys. You guys are the best.
Thank you so much to our members.
You guys are so awesome.
And we're also joined, as always, by Kelly up in New York. Kelly, how you doing, buddy?
You know what? It's pretty darn chilly outside, but it feels like the markets are going to be warming up today. Does that mean the price is going to go up or down? We're not sure yet. We got some huge news coming out of the Fed later today with the FOMC meeting. It should be sometime between 2 and 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. But there's a lot of stuff really great tools we want to share with you today. Not only some technical analysis, but some of the things we look at when we're making all these determinations. But I'm staying warm inside, and I'm ready to make some moves on the market, regardless of what direction it goes. So let's get it.
Kelly, what time do you wake up?
I wake up today. I woke up about 5:15 and started.
We had him beat by 15 minutes.
He's not even on our wave.
There you
He's
go.
not on our wave.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. You don't want to ask when I wake up.
When
what time do you wake up?
8 o'clock.
Gosh.
I know, it's terrible.
Gosh.
I got to get better at that.
That's the power of having an incredible team behind.
That
the
is
show.
the power of having an incredible team
You
behind
did
me.
it. You
I
did
used
it
to
for so
sleep
many
in.
years on your own.
I did.
Now we got all of us
true.
hustling,
Oh
doing
my
the grunt
gosh.
work. So.
You guys are absolute killers, and I'm very thankful. Guys, make sure you smash that like button if you're enjoying the energy in this room. I am having a wonderful time. It is always the most enjoyable part of my day coming on stream and getting to enjoy the time with my brothers here and with all of you guys who are watching at home. But let's go ahead and jump onto CoinGecko and look at the last 24 hours of price action. Bitcoin right now up over the last 24 hours, up 4.7%. Ethereum up 8.7%. The stable coins obviously remaining somewhat stable. Binance Coin up 6.8%. Cardano up 7.9%. As we saw yesterday, the entire cryptocurrency market is basically in a little bit of a bounce. Now the question is that a real bounce or is that a dead cat bounce? We're going to be discussing that in our Bitcoin technical analysis here a little bit later. But we can take a look at some of the biggest gainers, and you'll see there are some very large gainers. Loopring, Helium, Secret, Theta Fuel, Waves, all of these up double digits. We're looking at Gala up 20%, Polygon up 13%. We're going to be looking at Gala a little bit later. If you don't know what Gala is, it's a blockchain gaming platform with a ton of different games on it. Really interesting project there. Flow, Near, a lot of projects up over 10%. Like I said, we're looking at a total market-wide bounce. And one of the things I want to point out to you here on CoinMarketCap, on CoinGecko, is the fact that I want you to look at these last 7 days charts. So whenever the market is relatively stable and whenever the market is moving in a relatively, it's not having a massive trend reversal and you're just trending to the upside, oftentimes these last 7 day charts will look very different. They'll have a lot of variability in them. You'll see Ethereum looks like that, and then Bitcoin looks like that, and then they all just look however they look, right? Well, right now, we're actually seeing something very important, and that is that over the last 7 days, every single one of these altcoin charts looks identical. Now, you might be asking the question, Jebb, why do all the altcoins move together? Well, the altcoins and Bitcoin tend to move together whenever a major market reversal is happening because, as I've witnessed over the last 4.5 years that I've been working in the space, whenever a major reversal is happening on Bitcoin or Ethereum, mainly when it's happening on Bitcoin, but Ethereum can sometimes drive this too. None of the other cryptocurrencies are really large enough and have the punching power to really do this. But whenever you see all of the markets, whenever you see Bitcoin or Ethereum go through a major correction and a major turn, oftentimes it will sync up all of the different altcoin markets. So that's just something I've witnessed over my time. Whenever you see the entire market moving in basically the exact same way, then that normally tells you that something big is happening in Bitcoin or Ethereum. And that much is absolutely true. Bitcoin, as you can see right now, has been rallying over the last couple of days. It has rallied all the way up to $38,000. That's a good thing. We're going to talk about Bitcoin in more detail here in a little bit, but I want to start out by looking at a little-known cryptocurrency that is a decentralized exchange that will be launching on Cardano once Cardano's platforms are fully online and Cardano's backends are fully online, and that's actually called ADAX. Now, I'm going to go over here to a website called Xmarkets, EXMarkets, spelled out markets.com, and you can find ADAX over US dollar tether. I want to preface something right off the bat. We are not sponsored by Xmarkets and we are not sponsored by ADAX. We're not sponsored by either one of them, but we do find that ADAX is very useful and Xmarkets is the only exchange you can find it on right now. ADAX right now is trading around 90 cents, and it is a project that I'm very much looking forward to because it's positioned to become potentially one of the most powerful decentralized exchanges in the entire Cardano ecosystem. And once that ecosystem launches and you start seeing total value locked on Cardano reaching into the tens of billions, you are going to see that Cardano is going to increase in value, which I'm invested quite heavily in Cardano, and we're also going to see some of its layer 2s being performing very, very well. ADAX has been fully audited, it is fully transparent, it is fully operational, it is ready, it just needs to have Cardano launch, and then it's going to be able to launch with it. Now, as far as the price of it is concerned, a lot of people entered this a little bit too early on the hype. They entered up here around, not too early, but they entered right up here and they might be down a little bit, up around $2 and a little bit. Now, it did undergo a pretty major correction going all the way from September to December. And the fact of the matter is, guys, that's to be expected because this project is not fully launched yet and it's actually only on this exchange, or at least that's what it was about a week ago. It was literally only on one exchange. So it makes sense that you would see a lot of volatility right now. The point I want to make with this chart here is actually that it's kind of difficult to do technical analysis on a market that is not mature. This market has not even begun to reach maturation. It has not launched. It's not on many exchanges. What I can tell you is this. It is maintaining its price in between 50 cents and $1, and that's a very good sign because it means that there is at least a small, it might be small, but at least there is a community behind it of people that are looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to ADAX launching on Cardano, and when it does, I think we are going to see a major rally. Again, we're not sponsored by them. We never take coin sponsorships. I want to make that absolutely crystal clear. We never take coin sponsorships at all. We get offered, but we don't do that. ADAX is just a project that I'm looking into because I do have a lot of faith and confidence in the Cardano ecosystem that will be being built out this year. Now, with that said, we're going to go ahead and jump onto a couple of other cryptos. We're also going to look at Crypto.com, which is a coin that you guys are always asking about. I know I say that about literally every single cryptocurrency, but it's kind of true. You guys are always asking about all of them. Crypto.com If we go ahead to CoinMarketCap here, we will be able to find that it is currently sitting right around rank 17, $10.6 billion in market capitalization. A little bit of background on this project. Crypto.com is one of the largest name brands in crypto, multi-billion-dollar exchange. They just changed the name of the Staples Center to the Crypto.com Arena. That's a 20-year contract. I believe they paid $850 million for that. So this is not a small company. This is a really, really powerful company. I do have major centralization concerns, though, because the Crypto.com name is ascribed to this coin. So if Crypto.com if Crypto.com, something was to happen to that, then Crypto.com coin would obviously suffer the consequences, as there is a very close relationship between the two. But as far as the project in the technical analysis is concerned, you can see we had a major drop over the last couple of days, resulting from the drop that we saw on Bitcoin on January 21st and January 22nd. Now, the interesting thing is that Crow has been in a falling wedge for quite some time here, and with this rally, it's managed to break back up into the falling wedge, and if it manages to stay in the falling wedge, there's actually an argument to be made that it should break bullish out of the falling wedge. I have seen this happen many times on Ethereum, for example. On Ethereum, there are times where you'll go through a falling wedge and you'll come into it and then you'll break bearish and then you'll break bullish. Or you'll be going through a wedge like this and you'll break bearish and then you'll break up and then you'll break it down. And you'll see that the markets sometimes have a fake out breakout like this, but then they end up moving in the direction that they really should, because a falling wedge typically should break to the upside. Crow right now is obviously being dictated by its fundamentals, which its fundamentals are pretty strong. They're just very centralized, hence why I'm not invested in it, but there are people with very, very good understandings of markets that are invested in it. I don't have anything against Crow, but it's one that I do want to be careful with. Tim, do you have any thoughts?
Another thing that we got to keep an eye out for is here coming up in, what is it? We got 3 weeks until the Super Bowl, and we know that ad is coming out. The most watched TV of the year, I would almost say, the Super Bowl. If you get ad placement there, first, that is not cheap ad placement.
$5 million a minute, I think.
Yeah, it's like ridiculous. And they're going to be there. So how many people, that's great for the whole crypto space, but for Crow specifically, how much attention will come to them? We can go in and out of the fundamentals of, how centralized they are and how controlled, but they are investing, and no one invests that types of money if they don't believe it's going to be profitable in the end. So Crow is definitely something to keep your eye on in the next couple of weeks.
Can I want to comment on what you just said at the Super Bowl. I would keep in mind and keep an eye on it if you're going to try to make a trade here with Crow in order to catch that Super Bowl rally, if there is one. I would keep in mind that the thing is, there will probably be kind of a buy the news, sell the release. Not that there's a release, but the thing is, the average guy watching football is not going to know about Crypto.com coin, but they'll probably look into Crypto.com, right? Yeah. So what's going to happen is all you're seeing is the enthusiasts preparing for that commercial, and then after the commercial, people are going to take their profits.
Well, just so we know, the last thing I want to say, what we've seen on some of those events that are, sell the news, or buy the news, sell the release. What we've actually seen is when it launches, there's an initial pump that it's like very quick. Like you got to jump on the train. Like it pumps really quickly and then it drops.
So I'm just saying, be prepared for the drop.
Yeah,
keep a close eye on it.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely have to be careful about that. Well, let's go ahead and keep moving on here. We're going to go ahead and talk about Gala, which is a blockchain gaming platform that you guys are always asking us about. I know I keep going back to that, but it's true. Gala is a very popular project in the cryptocurrency space right now. We can see it's ranked number 59, sitting in a $1.5 billion market capitalization. You can go to their website, gala.games, and you can see all of that. Again, not sponsored. We don't take coin sponsorships. I'm just showing you where you can go for it. If you go to gala.games, you can see all the different games there. It's a play-to-earn gaming blockchain platform. That sounded complicated. It is complicated, but it's relatively simple at the same time. You can play these games and you earn money through it, and there are a lot of people that are making a full-time living. There are a lot of kids that are making more money than their parents playing games on Gala right now, and it's just remarkable to me that that's something that can happen in the cryptocurrency space. I have questions about how sustainable that is, but that's not my field of expertise. What I can tell you is this: it's sitting at $1.5 billion market capitalization, 21 cents, and it has a massive amount of attention in the cryptocurrency space, and it has been undergoing a pretty major correction over the last 3 months. Ever since all-time high, it dropped 83%. And I think a big part of this is because there's a lot of hype around blockchain gaming that has not been fully developed and fully brought to fruition just yet. We are going to see blockchain gaming be the next major step forward in the blockchain industry. I do believe that blockchain gaming is going to be to 2022 what NFTs were to 2021, and I do stand by my prediction that we're going to see a blockchain gaming platform sitting in the top 10 by the end of this year in market capitalization. I don't know if it's going to be Gala, but Gala is definitely one of those contenders. As far as its price action, it has undergone a massive correction right now. So if you're looking at this project and saying, okay, I believe in this project, I believe in its fundamentals, I think it'll do good things, and I think it'll grow quite substantially, then you might be looking at this and saying, okay, you know, this has undergone a massive correction. I want to buy the dip. And that would not necessarily be a terrible idea, in my opinion, if you believe in the fundamentals. Now, whether or not you, and the reason I'm not going to do a bunch of TA on this is because it's really a fundamental analysis question. If you believe in Gala, here's what has just happened. It pulled back and back tested its previous all-time high at 15 cents. It did that recently and has bounced up to 21.5 cents, which is where it is right now. This platform, or this project rather, is it has undergone a major correction, and if you're looking to scoop it up, you could be catching a falling knife. You could say that it could go down. Obviously, it can, but you do also have a very obvious place to put a stop loss. So I want to ask, let me see, who here has played the most games? Because I don't think any of the three of you are much of gamers.
I'll back out.
You'll back out. Okay, what about you, Smay? Have you played many
I've definitely played a good amount of games.
You played a good amount of games.
Yes.
I thought so. Okay, so tell me, what do you think about the blockchain gaming ecosystem moving into the rest of this year? What is it going to look like?
That's really going to depend on. I've actually heard from some people who develop games on blockchain that they've said that developing games on blockchain is ridiculously difficult. So
yeah, makes sense.
The thing is with that is you'll tend to find that people are going to have a harder time making games that are compelling to play. And right now, what you have going for blockchain gaming is the whole play to earn aspect, which is what's attractive to some people. But some people really just want to have a good time. And if the games aren't fun, the games aren't fun. You know, you're only going to have a certain amount of sweaties that are going to jump in and try to make crypto off of it. That being said, I think we're going to see a lot of development in this space. And that's why I'm not even really getting invested in it yet, because I'm just trying to wait and see what do I think is the most promising. And that's why I liked what you talked about the Steam ecosystem one, because something that can actually gather all those kind of play to earn blockchain games. That's probably the project I'm looking for.
And the other thing about that project, I'm blanking on the name of it. Kelly, you might be able to help me here. But the game, Ultra, thank you. The project I'm thinking of, Ultra, the reason that that's such an interesting project in blockchain gaming is because it diversifies its risk. I actually talked about this. I think we have to scrap the interview, unfortunately, but I interviewed a guy named Andrew from Clearwater Digital Partners at TNABC, and we talked about, I asked him, do you believe for a certainty that the cryptocurrency market is going to grow over the next 10 years? And he said, absolutely, no question about it. And I said, do you believe that Bitcoin is going to grow over the next 10 years? And he said, I believe so, but obviously things can happen. So I asked him, okay, to clarify then, you're basically certain that the cryptocurrency industry is going to grow, right? And he said, yes. And then I said, but what about Bitcoin? He said, well, I'm not sure. Things can happen. I said, thank you. I completely agree with you. It is pretty much unstoppable that this industry is going to grow, but one individual project might not,
that's
even
exactly
Bitcoin.
Right, yeah.
So that's why I like Ultra, and actually that's kind of why I like Gala Games, because both of them have a plethora of different games on them. So if one game fails, the other games succeed, and that's where Steam has come into play. Steam doesn't just have their own games through the Valve ecosystem and through Half-Life and Portal and, you know, all these different games, has all the games. So the entire gaming industry is going to grow. That's pretty much unquestionable. So blockchain gaming is the same thing, and anyone that has a platform for that's going to do very well.
I'd love to make a comment about this as well. One of the things to really keep in mind when we're discussing play to earn games is it's not fully locked into the concept of only people that are going to play that are trying to earn are going to play, because one of the things that's magical and super unique about this whole concept, this whole niche is going to explode into the next decade, I'm sure, is the fact that sometimes it's not even about playing to earn. Sometimes it's about, I don't know how many games I've played, whether it be apps on my phone or Call of Duty or World of Warcraft, whatever, it doesn't matter what the game is. There's so much time and then money invested in those games, especially if you're just playing an app game where you're trying to do Farmville or something and you're paying to speed up the process of whatever's happening. What happens is all your time and effort and energy is locked in that ecosystem and gone the second you spend the money on it. Whereas with a play to earn game, regardless of if you ever earn any money, you can at least, and this is where the NFTs come into play. And some people think all NFTs are is this artwork. No, it's digital ownership of individual unique items. So with play to earn games, now the effort and energy and the digital things that you accumulate within that game, you can either sell when you're leaving that game to then take those profits to then put into a new game, or you can literally make a living on acquiring different things, different levels, and selling those things across. But so there's a lot that goes into that. that. And then there's the ecosystem that supports it. So if you're not sure which project to place your trades on or place your investments within, whether it's Gala, Axie Infinity, Dash League, whatever it is, then the other side of it is you can also look at the supporting ecosystems like projects like Render, which is basically it's sharing the cloud rendering computing power across the blockchain. So you can, because that's one of the things that's one of the reasons why some of these games you feel like have so much lower graphics, because it's a lot more difficult to have processing and compute pattern power across a blockchain. So look at the different supporting ecosystems that work within the gaming industry as well, and you can find a lot of really, really unique plays.
That's a really good point. You start to lose some of the shame around playing video games. It's like, well, it's not supposed to be shame, but sometimes you feel that way. You're like, oh, I just put 1,000 hours in this game and I can't ever get it back. Well, yeah, but you might have made $10,000 because you were playing to earn.
The last thing I'll say, and then we can move on, is I was gonna say the biggest thing I think that's holding blockchain gaming from exploding right now, I think too, is the accessibility of it. In terms of like, I think when you get to the point where like you have like Fortnite type stuff where like kids are able to play, because that's where like there's a lot of teenagers and adults that play video games, but a big chunk of the video game market share is in those kids playing, right? They have the most time to play, right? So
I got a question. I got a question for you though, Smay, right there.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is going to change the parenting style into the next 10 years, where before it's like, get off your game, go and play outside. Now it's like, oh, my kid's making so much
money.
My
kid's making $10,000 a month.
The thing is though, that's already happening. Be productive.
Pay your rent, you 13-year-old.
It's already happening. There are colleges now that are giving scholarships to kids who are really good at video games.
Yeah,
it's already happening. Yeah. It's already happening.
Well, I'll chime in. Again, I told you guys I'm not going to chime in, but there was a meeting of one of the C12 meetings I went to. One of the guys that was there was talking about, it's so funny, when he was a kid and he told his mom and dad, I really want to play a lot of video games. They're like, put it down, go outside, go play. He had to have a conversation with his son. He's like, all right, here's the deal, son. Do you want to get good at, like, it's almost like an athlete. Like, do you want to get good? All right, you're gonna practice for 3, 4, 5 hours a day. But I'm telling you, you're gonna work at this. You're not gonna piddle at this and then throw it away. Like, if you're serious about gaming and you want to do it, let's train. Let's get get you on a schedule.
Right.
And it's like, that's the world we're in now, where it's like kids actually need to practice and train because they can make some serious money.
Well, before, the only two ways, and I'm gonna say this and then we have to move on, the only two things that The only two ways to make a living in gaming before were becoming an esports professional or starting a YouTube channel. And believe me, I've started a YouTube channel. I've made 5 of them, and the first 4 completely failed. And most of them were around gaming, by the way. I had gaming YouTube channels that had like 10 subscribers. I put so much work into them, but it never got any subscribers. I just was so upset. No, I'm joking. But seriously, there were only 2 ways to make money in gaming, and they were very unreliable. You could bust your tail, and if you don't have the reflexes to be able to do 1,000 clicks per second, you're just not going to be able to be successful in that. But now with pay to earn, you can actually make a living playing blockchain games, which is crazy. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to our some super chats and community discussion. Then we're going to jump into Bitcoin.
We have one from Rick4962, or we know him as Yard Dog. He's been a Jebb Grandmaster now for 5 months. He just wanted to say love all the discounts right now.
For real.
It's that's for sure. You know, the question is, will there be a bigger discount?
I'm loving those discounts.
We'll see. Intermediate Handyman said, what exchange do I need in order to move ADA to X markets? Crow Wallet will not allow.
Wait, say that one more time.
Like, what exchange do I need in order to move ADA to X markets?
ADA.
I don't understand why Crow Market would not allow, because you can send basically any coin that X Market holds, whether it's ADA, XLM, Bitcoin, USDT is a great one, and you should be able to basically go to the deposit section on X Markets, get the address, and then copy it into the withdrawal area on Crow. Otherwise, you can send me a private DM if you want on my Twitter, and I can look into it a little deeper. But there should be no issue with that. I've transferred a number of different coins.
I didn't move ADA to it. I moved Bitcoin to it.
Yeah. Should work just like any other exchange.
The other thing too, I wanted to not necessarily correct, but make an addition to is the comment that you made earlier when you're initially going over ADAX is one of the good considerations as well is that it's not actually only available on xmarkets.com. ADAX, before they've launched their DEX earlier this month, they also launched a centralized exchange on ADAX Pro. So you can also trade directly on their centralized exchange, leading up to their DEX, and their DEX is launching on this Sunday on the 30th.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. All right, let's keep moving on. Ryan Jenkins just donated saying, can you explain the verbiage that we are looking to hear, whether bearish or bullish, when the Feds make their announcements today? It seems that moment will be pivotal. Can you help me understand how? God bless. Well, we're going to talk about this here in a little bit, Ryan.
Yeah.
So we'll pause on that.
Yeah, we'll pause on that because we're going to talk about that here. Let me look at the show map. We're going to talk about that at about 10:05 here in about 20 minutes. Yeah. I can't read time. Here in about 10 minutes, we're going to be talking about all of that. So be staying tuned for that.
Yeah. Kevin Grem said, "Blessed are the hodlers, for they shall inherit the crypto." That's funny.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
Let me see here. We had a donation from Economics. Not going to read it. It is a shill. But thank you so much for the donation.
No shills. We do not do shills.
We do not do shills.
We sorry. We don't take coin sponsorships. We don't do that. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and move on into Bitcoin here. I have no idea what accent that was. Anyway, we're going to move on here into Bitcoin, and we're going to take a look at it because I know you guys are very curious what's going on with Bitcoin. I think the question of the hour right now on Bitcoin is, are we seeing an actual recovery, or are we seeing a dead cat bounce? I'm going to go ahead and tell you straight up. I think this is a dead cat bounce, and I'll tell you why. Number one, this rally is one massive rising wedge that it should probably break to the downside relatively soon. Number two, there's actually relatively weak, but it is there, bearish RSI divergence. We have an uptrending level of resistance right here, a flat level of resistance right here on RSI, and I don't remember, but let me see. I think we're seeing something similar on MACD. We are, as you can see, we have flat resistance there, so that is a form of bearish RSI divergence down here on the hourly chart. We can look at the volume, and the volume actually looks relatively high on this chart, but if you look across a multitude of charts, the volume is actually not that great right now. The volume is kind of high, but I actually want to throw it to Tim and get his opinion on what the volume is doing right now on Bitcoin. Because I know you do a lot of volume analysis having to do with Wyckoff. What are you seeing in that volume right now?
So if you zoom in really close, like if you want to go to the 5-minute chart, yeah, we could find some good volume there. But you zoom out and it's just not impressive. Like to me, what I'm looking at in the volume right now is just nothing to be that excited about in terms of, like, I think everybody, bears, bulls, whether people are skeptical about the Bitcoin market, whether people are hopeful, everyone's just kind of sitting here saying, let's watch what happens. And so the price is moving up because there's no new shorts coming to the market. No one's wanting to sell, but that can flip right at 230 when we hear this announcement. I think that volume, if people who've been watching this rally over the last 24 hours, which is, rally is a strong word for what we see.
Yeah.
People who have been watching what is happening over the last 24 hours and saying, oh, Bitcoin's moving up. Is that good? It's nothing. It's just the price moving, and I think the volume kind of reflects that.
Yeah, it's really just nothing yet. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Guys, I say this every single time that the market undergoes some kind of rally to the upside. A lot of people see a rally such as this form, and they say, okay, the bottom's in, I'm going to go ahead, boom, I'm going to long. And then here's what almost always invariably has happened in the last 2 months. We saw it happen right here, and we saw it happen right here. If you go back and you look at the longs and the shorts, they got liquidated. That's what happened. A lot of people went long right here. A lot of people went long right here because, oh, look, the market's rallying. Yay, we're going into an uptrend. Boom, we have bullish technical indicators. Nope, you got liquidated. That's what's going to happen if you're not careful. You need to let this market confirm itself. What does confirmation look like? Well, that's a case-by-case basis. In this case, I would say confirmation would look like getting above this downtrend, back testing it, and moving to the upside and pushing up towards $45,000, maybe $48,000. We really need to prove bullishness. This is not something that we can just say, okay, we've moved to the upside for 3 days. That means we're in an uptrend. No, we need to see some proper bullishness, guys. We have been in a downtrend for about 2 months. We've been in a downtrend specifically for 78 days, almost 3 months. We need to see this market start to move to the upside in a big way. We have a big downtrend. We need to see a big trend reversal. So be very careful about entering a long position right now, especially when we're in a rising wedge. I don't believe that we're just going to moonshot here over the next couple of days. I just don't see it in the sentiment. I see a lot of people that are very fearful. I see a lot of people that are on the edge of selling that haven't yet, and that's dangerous. And I think a lot of people are on that, kind of on that precipice, just waiting to see what's going to happen. Now, I do also want to mention a couple of things that are bullish. As you can see out here on RSI, we've actually crossed above the 14-day SMA. You might be looking at this and thinking, Jebb, what is that? Why does that line going through the RSI? Well, TradingView, if you want to sign up for TradingView, by the way, hit the link down below. TradingView updated the RSI and put a 14-day moving average through it, which I absolutely love. This actually makes RSI even more useful because it shows you whether you're above or below the trend. It's just moving averages are incredibly helpful, and this is very helpful as well. You can see the RSI has bounced us all the way from 20 all the way up to 36, and we are now above that 14 SMA. on daily chart, but we're still deep in the bearish control zone. We need to see a lot more exuberance. I want to see RSI getting up here above 50 before I start getting confirmed, guys. The trend is your friend until it ends, and right now the trend is down and the trend is strong. So we need to remember that the trend is down and the trend is strong. So we need to see that the market is going to go to the upside and that the trend to the upside is strong before we start to say that the bottom is in, because we just don't know that yet, and we don't want to get ourselves in a position where we've entered along too early and then we get shorted. Then we get liquidated. That happens all the time. I don't want that to happen to you. I care about you. I want you to succeed, and I've seen it happen too many times, unfortunately. Now, one of the good things that is going on right now is if you look at the last year of price action, VPVR has built a massive support level, support zone right here with the point of control at $34,300. That's basically exactly where we bounced off of. So Bitcoin has a ton of support beneath it, and it looks like right now that we're rolling up the hill. I want us to roll up the hill. I want us to roll up the hill all the way to $43,000. Doing that would give me some confidence that maybe we are going into an uptrend. And that's not the only thing that is giving us support out on the daily chart. On top of that, there is also a trading channel that Bitcoin has been in over the last year and a half, or about the last 13 months, I should say, since about Christmas of 2020. We actually came down and tested this level of support right here, and it looks like we're attempting a bounce off of it, but again, I want to see some confirmation there. I don't want to put all of my faith in that just yet. We need to see that movement happen a little bit stronger than it has so far. Now, I also want to show you the MACD, because the MACD is in the process of attempting a bullish reversal and moving into a bullish cross. That would be a very, very good thing to happen, and in fact, we do still have bullish MACD divergence showing up here on the daily chart. That's a good sign, and that does tell us that the market could have a rally come. This tells us that the bottoms are getting lower, but the MACD is getting higher. That is normally a very bullish signal. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the fundamentals and about how we're tying all of these fundamentals together, and I'm going to throw it to Kelly for that. Kelly, what are you seeing around the fundamentals of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? What does the economic climate right now tell us about Bitcoin and where we might be heading?
Well, one of the struggles I'll say in terms of like doing the show, the type of show like we do and many YouTubers do, is the fact that we want to bring the absolute best content and value for every viewer out there, because our goal here is not just for us to be on screen talking, hearing ourselves speak, but it's to make sure that you understand and you can learn how to understand how to look at the market and think for yourself, to really take all the different concepts we discussed and put them together, put the puzzle pieces together, and make the best decisions for your trading style, strategies, whether it's entries or exits, long-term investing, short-term. It doesn't matter. Everybody's unique. But what the question here, I think, is in regards, like this morning we're doing TA, and for instance, she just showed an ascending wedge, which typically breaks bearish. Yeah. Well, despite that pattern or any other pattern that we're pointing out today, when you're really trying to put all the puzzle pieces together on a day like today, where we have massive likelihood of shifting of fundamentals, being that the FOMC is meeting, we may have major economic news that may turn the tides one way or the other. And so I don't want to say you want to take the TA on a morning like today with a grain of salt, because you can only take your plans of actions with the information and the tools that you currently have. Now, we can plan ahead knowing that, okay, as it is right now, what I'm saying by this is be a little slow. Like, don't just place a trade entry or a short sale, whatever it is, on something like today, because you see a pattern that is just barely starting to break out, and the news hadn't even come out on this massive fundamental development today with the news that's coming out around 2:30 today. So we really want to take into context what's happening on the greater picture, and in this situation, be a little more conservative, be a little more patient to let that news develop, because we could have the most bullish or bearish pattern on the planet and get very bullish fundamental news, and that bearish pattern will be completely irrelevant. So it's important to take all these things in context and really let your strategies be developed as you get all the information you can. So if anything, I would say look at the TA from today, this morning, put it in your tool bag, but be a little conservative on where you're going to place your entries, your stop losses, your exits, until we get the larger news later in the day that may just have us go sideways, may bring us way back down, and it may bolster us and shoot us way back up. I think it's more likely than anything that we're not going to get incredibly bullish news. I think if anything, we're probably more likely to get neutral news, which will then be perceived as bullish because we didn't get the negative news everybody was being worried about. So the whole point being here is be a little more conservative on a day like today until you get all the tools, all the puzzle pieces, so you can make the best trade, entries, exits, and the best plan for your strategy.
Boom, there you go. Drop mic, Kelly. You just Boom, dropped it straight on the floor. Thank you so very much for that. That was amazing. Guys, if you were enjoying today's show, subscribe to the channel because this is the #1 analysis channel for cryptocurrencies on the entire YouTube ecosystem, and we would love to see your smiling faces every single day here on show. And make sure you smash that like button. I know we got 4,000 people watching. We can get to 1,000 likes here in the next couple of minutes. If you're enjoying today's show, it really helps us in the algorithm so that we can go out and evangelize Bitcoin more. Let's take a look at these technicals, and then we're going to move on into talking about that Fed news and some more on-chain and different tools that we can look at. Now, I want to show you Lux Algo because Lux Algo is a very, very powerful tool, and it is giving you a buy signal right now. But I want to make sure that you understand the wisdom in using Lux Algo. Let's get one thing out of the way first and foremost. Lux Algo is an incredibly powerful toolkit that I have been using for the better part of the last 6 months. I know the guy that created it, got a lot of respect for him. He genuinely cares about helping the community. He's not a money grabber. He's really excited about helping you. Lux Algo is his passion because he helps you make money in the cryptocurrency markets. And the thing you have to remember about Lux Algo and about any technical indicator is that they're just math. They're just mathematical equations and prediction-based models of what's going to happen in the future. So they're never going to be perfect. You can never make the mistake of just listening to one technical indicator and just trading based off of it. You might do that for a time to experiment to see how good the technical indicator is, but it's not a good idea if you're generally trading. So right now, the reason I say that, Lux Algo has a confirmed buy signal with a buy signal, trend catcher green, and Lux oscillator green down on the 4-hourly chart. We're also seeing the same thing happen, I believe, on the 6-hourly chart. I think I saw this earlier. Yes, confirmed buy signal on the 6-hourly chart, buy signal, green trend catcher, Lux oscillator is green. We can also see on the 8-hour and the 12-hour chart, we're seeing the same thing come into play. As of this 8-hourly candlestick, we have a buy signal, green trend catcher, Lux oscillator is green, and even up to the 12-hourly chart, we have a bullish MACD cross on the 12-hourly chart also. Green Lux oscillator, green buy signal, green trend catcher. Now, here's the deal, though. This is not a 4-hour, 6-hour, 8-hour, or 12-hour downtrend. This is a daily chart, and frankly, it's even a weekly chart downtrend. So I'm looking for a daily chart and maybe even like a 3-daily chart confirmed buy signal on Lux Algo. We do not have a single one of the 3 that we need on daily chart. We do not have green trend catcher, we do not have a green buy signal, and we do not have green Lux oscillator. Lux oscillator looks like it's about to go green, but it's not there yet. And like I said, this is at this point even bigger than even bigger than a daily downtrend. I think the 3-daily chart is where I really want to see confirmation. What I'm going to say is that until I see a confirmed buy signal, again, that is green trend catcher. That's this kind of wavy line right here. Buy signal, which is what that's those, and then green Lux oscillator. Until I see all 3 of those on the 2 or 3 daily chart, I'm going to still say that we're in a downtrend here. I have seen a confirmed buy signal on everything from the 1-hour to the 12-hour chart, but I've not seen on the longer term time frames. Remember, use these indicators in their context. You can't take something on the 5-minute chart and say, oh, okay, well, we're bullish on the 5 minutes, so then we're obviously going to go up on the monthly. That's not the way it works, but when the time frames are closer, it can be tempting to do that. You might look at 4-hourly chart and say, okay, great, we got a buy signal on the 4-hourly chart. That must mean we're going to go into a daily chart uptrend. Nah, wrong. The 4-hourly chart uptrend will build into the daily chart uptrend potentially, but it has not confirmed it yet. So just be careful about that. Lux Algo is a very powerful technical indicator, and I am looking for it to give me a strong buy signal on the daily and the 2-daily and the 3-daily chart, but it hasn't happened yet. I'm going to keep you updated, though, because it very well may. If we start seeing Bitcoin go above 40 to 42 to 44, then we may see that. By the way, guys, if you have not gotten Lux Algo yet, you are just straight up, flat out, hands down missing out, and you need to get Lux Algo. It is so incredibly helpful in helping you to figure out what trend we're in and when that trend has reversed. That is one of the biggest pieces of technical analysis, is figuring out what trend we're in and which direction, when that reversal of that trend is coming. In fact, that's a big part of the definition of technical analysis, figuring out the trend you're in and when the reversal is coming. And Lux Algo is the one tool that I think is so much more helpful than all the other tools because it brings everything together into one place and because it does have some phenomenal technical indicators in its package. I'm only showing you 3. There's like 20 different technical indicators in the entire package. It's phenomenal. I love it. Sign up with the link down below. You can use coupon code Jebb for 20% off at checkout. Now, I'm going to go ahead and throw it to Kelly, and we're going to talk about some market TA. We're going to talk about a little bit of fundamental analysis, and we're going to look at some on-chain tools that we can use to analyze these markets better. Kelly, my friend, take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to cover some market cipher stuff, but you know what? I don't think we need to do that today because we've covered all the TA that we can do and basically where we're at with the market. So first thing I want to do is I want to bring up a tweet here from, this is a wonderful person to follow. This is the Rational Root. on Twitter. And this is a chart I saw yesterday, which is incredible metric. And this just shows, this is basically, you can see the metric on this on-chain data from Glassnode that basically is measuring the short-term holders, which are people that are holding or coins that are less than 155 days old versus long-term holders. And you can see that this line here is essentially the supply held by long-term holders. And the interesting thing, when you look at this metric, you can see that this huge rise that we had in early 2021 going from January into about May of 2021 up to 64K was fueled by short-term holder hype along with long-term holders, whereas the second pump from 29K up to 68,000, this was fueled almost entirely by long-term holders not selling. So essentially, this was one of the things that was feeding to the illiquid supply shock that was allowing the fact that the supply dynamics basically mean that when you have fewer people willing to sell, even if you don't have a ton more buyers, price will still go up because the lack of availability, the lack of supply that's available will lead to prices increasing. So this is just an incredible metric. And one of the things I actually want to take this time for today, rather than going into a bunch of news stories, is this exact chart right here is something that we use that's in relation to OnChain Metrics. Now, so what I want to go over here for the next 2 or 3 minutes is I want to show you some of the tools that we use and other analysts use to really get to the understanding that Crypto Jebb here, Tim, Smay, and many other analysts that you see online on YouTube or even on MSNBC, whatever, people that are looking into the cryptocurrency market, the tools and the metrics we use, I want to give you a couple, like a quick peek into some of the things we use. And so one of the things we use here is something called the CBBI, which is the Colin Talks Crypto Bitcoin Bull Run Index. This is essentially, it takes 11 different on-chain metrics and indexes them, makes a composite score between all of them. So maybe you don't have enough time, maybe you just want a general overview. You don't have to go into each specific one, but you can see a general consensus between all of these different on-chain metrics. And as you can see where these peaks are, these very, very high peaks, it's essentially directly when we have these blow off tops and past bull market cycles. As you can see here, we're still very, I'm talking very far below that, indicating that based on a number of different on-chain metrics that we still have a lot of room to grow. So that being said, it doesn't mean we don't have room to go to the downside yet, still in this bull cycle. Who knows how long this cycle will be, but it does show that we still haven't had that blow off top in the cycle. So this is an excellent metric you can find. Just search on Google CBBI Bitcoin or go to colintalkscrypto.com. Another thing you can use is you can come over here to CheckOnChain.com. This is a free website you can use to get a bunch of different on-chain metrics. And you can go through this on your own time and go through all these different metrics. Now, this is a free on-chain metric portal. So what I will say about that, the difference between using something like this or using something that's a little more professional, like Glassnode here, is Glassnode is essentially the same. This whole chart here that you're seeing here is done through Glassnode. The difference between having a paid service like Glassnode is that you get basically updated charts. The ones on CheckOnChain and these other free services might be 2, 3, 5 days, 7 days, basically lagging. So you're not going to get completely up-to-date information. So if you're not a day trader or swing trader, that might not affect you. If you're just doing more midterm or long-term trades, then CheckOnChain or Woonomic or charts.woobull.com, those are all a little bit lagging, but you could still use them. But in addition to that, one of the things I do want to point out that Glassnode does, which is phenomenal, is if you go up to the top here, you can see that there's an academy, and it's basically a free text-based thing that text-based area within the Glassnode thing website that allows you to really go through and understand what all the different coin on-chain metrics are, which is, whether it be the spin output profit ratio, the Newpol, the NVT, the Meyer multiple. It really goes through and helps you understand what all these different metrics mean. And these are incredible tools for your technical analysis or your fundamental analysis, on-chain analysis, so you can really make the best decisions of what you're doing. One of the other incredible sites that we use almost on a daily basis here on the Crypto Jebb channel is CoinGlass. This used to be known as bybt.com. They changed it to CoinGlass. And here you can find all kind of incredible information, the liquidation rates, the funding rates, longs versus short ratios, all these different metrics help give you an indication, not just from a fear and greed standpoint, but from what's the psychology of the majority of traders that are entering trades, not what's the lagging information, but this is sort of what is the market, what's the sentiment going into the market, the types of trades that are being entered. So it gives you a really in-depth sort of understanding what's happening with the market. With that being said, I actually did do a chart here, and I actually found this metric today. It's a indicator, I should say, and this is the funding rate. And there's many different ones, but I like this one because it's a composite, so it actually adds a bunch of different funding rates from Bybit, BitMEX, Bitfinex, all these different exchanges. And one of the things I'm just pointing out here, I have these vertical lines basically drawn essentially where past large capitulation events have happened. And when the funding rate goes negative, as it has, essentially what a funding rate is it's basically saying it's how much the exchanges are essentially charging in fees for derivatives, leverage positions, how much it costs to go long or short. So when it's going negative here, this is actually showing it's more expensive to go short than it is to go long. When it's positive, it becomes more expensive to have long trades opened in these leveraged positions. So one of the things you'll notice in all of these downturns is when you're getting a reversal, it's after the funding rate goes negative. So here, this was March 2020 when that which must not be said on YouTube happened. You see massive negative spike in funding rates here, and it basically buoyed the price back up to the normalized position of where it would have been without this massive fall, and basically propelled us into this upswing. Similarly here, where we had the capitulation down to 29,000 with funding. Now, it doesn't mean as soon as it goes negative, the price action immediately follows. But in order to have positive price action coming out of a major dip, you typically will see the price action in terms of the funding rates go negative. And in this case, we've been negative for a while. And so what I'm really looking for here is for when we start getting a flip going into basically showing that there's now confidence going into longs. And I think we likely could see that this afternoon. Or otherwise, if we get the opposite news that we're really wanting, this funding rate might go further negative, which still would be a good thing in the long term in terms of the length of this downturn. One of the next things I want to show you here is the fear and greed index. All of you, I'm sure have seen this on a number of different analyst channels, and you might have seen it around the web, quoted in articles. And you can just go here to alternative.me/crypto and then fear and greed index. And this essentially is, and we were discussing this yesterday in one of our planning meetings. We really wanted everybody to understand within our company what the fear and greed index is. Essentially what the fear and greed index is a composite score of not just what the sentiment is on within trades, but they actually go and they build a weighted score based on what the sentiment is on social media, what the sentiment is on the longs versus shorts, what's the selling pressure versus buying pressure, what's the investor relationship with the trades overarchingly in terms of the market. So you get a very sort of robust score that's giving a good metric about what people are feeling about the market. And this is one of the reasons why we've been talking about it so regularly on the channel lately, and many channels have. It's that you'll see, if I go here, if I scroll down and take this to 1 year, these time frames, this is when we had the big market peak. And what happened when we had this massive market dip, we had this massive decrease in the fear and greed index, or going to the extreme fear side. And what happens? Yes, we did dance around in here for a bit, but when we basically double bottomed here, or even this is more like a triple or quadruple bottom, the price can only be super fearful for so long before buyers see an incredible opportunity to buy because nobody else is buying. So then we have this market massive pump into the 64K range, come down 69K range. And basically it's just an incredible metric.
Well, let me ask you something, Kelly. Whenever with the fear and greed index, whenever a lot of people have talked about buying whenever the fear and greed index is very low, and then they've talked about selling when the fear and greed index is very high because it's typically very responsive to where the market is. And then after that, let's move into this FOMC stuff. But is that a strategy you've seen be successful with people?
Absolutely. I'm trying to see if I can find there's a heat map. I can't find it in this exact moment, but there's a heat map of basically the Bitcoin price, and it shows the Bitcoin price basically as the actual price action is going, and they do a color code on the price action as it goes along that shows exactly where the fear and greed index was. And anytime you see a massive or even a prolonged dip, it sort of waits until it gets into the extreme fear levels, which is I think below 23. More specifically, when we get down below 15, 13, 10, 9. Once it gets into those areas, it does not tend to stay in those super fearful areas long, and there tends to be a rocket ship that comes out of that. Now, the skill there is, one, as soon as you see an extreme fear on the fear and greed index, that doesn't mean to go and put it in a leverage long. That means that you still need to watch your bullish or bearish RSI divergences. You want to see some MACD divergences. You want to see some of your other, just like anytime you enter a trade in any sort of position ever, you never do it on one metric. You want to wait for a culmination of a concert of things that all are agreeing with each other that give you the true confidence. And CryptoFace says it beautifully. He says, you should never really enter a trade unless you're absolutely sure of it. If you're entering a trade, biting your fingernails, then you haven't got all the info you need.
No, I totally agree with you, Kelly, and I think that's a big piece of advice. But let's go ahead and talk about this Federal Open Market Committee news, because I really know that people want to hear what is going on with this Fed news. Can you kind of introduce this, and then let's discuss this together? I really want to hear Smay's take on this, actually. So lay the foundation, give us a 30-second rundown of what's going on here, and then let's discuss this a little bit, and then we're going to jump into our next intermission.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm not actually going to bring up the news because the news isn't out yet, but I just went and this is Investopedia, and I'm just going to read this to you. And this is in response or in relation to what it means, what this FOMC, Federal Open Market Committee meetings yesterday and today, and the announcement they're going to make later today about whether or not they're going to raise the interest rates. And essentially this says the Fed, through the FOMC or Federal Open Market Committee, adjusts rates depending on the economy's need. If the FOMC believes the economy is growing too quickly and it's likely that inflation or rising prices might occur, the FOMC will increase the Fed funding rate. Conversely, if the FOMC believes that the economy is struggling or might dip into recession, the FOMC would lower the fund rate. So I guess the question we're going to have to go here and sort of discuss, and basically we're going to be pontificating on until this afternoon, is, are we really going? Is the market dipping really meaning that we're going or flirting with a recession, or is one of the other concepts also, was the market a bit too hot and too high than it should be anyway? So is it coming back to where it should be, or is it a recession? That's one of the things I think we really need to consider.
There you go. So I really want to throw it to Smay, and I want to get his take on this. Smay, what impact do you think the Federal Reserve and their policy has on Bitcoin? Should we really be paying attention to what the Federal Reserve is doing? Is it that their manipulation of monetary policy has a major impact on crypto, or is it just that the sentiment is there because a lot of people are very concerned about what the Fed might do? Is it just FUD and FOMO, or is it something real?
To be honest with you, I can't say that. I think we're definitely going to see some price movement from whatever comes out, whether that be bullish or bearish. But I to be honest with you, I don't see anything crazy happening. And something that me and Tim were discussing this morning, that it might also just end up being really delayed. Like right now, I think this is one of those things that I think we're just going to see maybe small movements, maybe small murmurs, but just right now, there's not a lot of money and there's not a lot of interest and there's not a lot of, right now we're just in a time of people being boring / depressed, or however you want to call it. So I think there might be, and I think news in general is starting to get more numb in terms of its effect. Now, I think this is going to have definitely an effect, and it might end up having a big delayed effect. But I overall, whether it's bullish or bearish, I'm not seeing us, say it's bullish, I'm not seeing us spring all the way back to all-time high type numbers and, so on. So that's my opinion.
Smay, I just got to tell you something, dude. All your shirts are too big for you now.
Well, yeah, I mean, this one's a little bit tight. But,
you've lost a lot of weight, dude. Yeah. I'm really excited for you. I'm happy for you.
I appreciate that. It's all that 5 a.m. Jebb stuff.
Yeah, that'll do it. Tim, I want to hear your thoughts, and then I'm going to give my thoughts, and we're going to move on here. What do you think about this Fed news?
I'm going to try to be brief here. So, There's a part of me that actually thinks that Bitcoin's not in a great spot at the moment, price action wise, short term. I think long term we have some stuff happening. But I even put on my Twitter this morning, guys, even if the news that comes out is dovish, and for anyone who doesn't know what dovish means or hawkish means, we'll talk about that here in just a second. But even if the news is good, right? Don't get overzealous with buying Bitcoin because we are still heavily in a season of manipulation. And so it's like, if the news comes out bad, I think the price is going down because it's really discouraging. If the news is good, I think we're going to see a very short pump and then manipulation comes back in. And I think a lot of people will get a little bit too hot and heavy on Bitcoin thinking we're just going to rally to the moon and then it's going to bring the price back down. And one of the things I was looking at just a second ago when we were talking about fear and greed index, do you notice that fear and greed index number right now is sitting at the same level as when we were back up over 40,000?
Yep.
So in reality, we're at the same level. Like I actually don't like that because we went down and got really scared and then it didn't take a lot for people to stop being as scared.
Yeah.
I don't think that's as good of a sign for Bitcoin as we think. Exactly. I'm not saying we have to go down to 20,000, but I would not be surprised if the news comes out hawkish, the price will go down at least to 30,000. Maybe by the end of the day.
Yeah.
If the price, if it's good, what's going to happen is the price is probably going to shoot up to 40,000, and then it's going to be like a bull trap where manipulators sell, bring the market back down, maybe as low as 35 or 33, maybe all the way down to 30 or 29. And that's when the institutions say, hey, we have the dovish news, the good news we need from the market. Let's bring it down. Let's bring the boat back. Let's jump on board with the levels we really want to buy in at, and then we'll set sail.
Here's the thing, guys. I think that this news actually has much more of a potential to hurt the market than it does to help the market, and I'll tell you exactly why. When we're in a downtrend, bearish news carries a lot more weight than bullish news does. When you're in an uptrend, bullish news carries a lot more weight than bearish news does. As Kelly talked about, that long-term holder ratio and has continued to increase. I've seen a lot of people holding long-term, and we're in a very strong downtrend. If we go into an uptrend, then we are going to see that that bullish news is going to have a much bigger impact because the overall sentiment is already bullish. It's easier to add fuel to the fire than it is to kind of put the fire out. In this case, we have the fire of bearishness, and bearish news could drop us 10% where bullish news might rally us 3%. So it's going to be kind of hard for this to be a good story because, quite frankly, just about no matter what the Fed comes out and says, it's bad in one of two ways. Either one, they raise interest rates and it causes they change things to constrict the economy and constrict the growth of the U.S. dollar in a multitude of ways. They do that through federal funds rate, interest rates, all these different things. If they do that, that's going to shock the economy. It's going to make people very scared. It's going to drop the price of Bitcoin right now. But if they don't do that, they're just going to keep kicking the can down the road, and that's going to cause long-term ramifications. So the point you got to realize is that long-term, short-term, no matter what they say, because they backed themselves into a corner ever since 1971 when we went off the Bretton Woods, we broke the Bretton Woods agreement and went off the gold standard. When that happened, the Federal Reserve began a process of inflation of the U.S. dollar to keep the economy growing so that government expenditure could increase and so that we could overpower the Soviet Union back then. That's where a lot of this came from. And we've been kicking the can down the road for 51 years now, and it's just going to continue. So no matter what they announce, it's going to be bad for the U.S. dollar, in my opinion, and it is probably going to be either bad for Bitcoin or neutral for Bitcoin. Might be news that would give us a small pump, but I'd be surprised. So this is not exactly a great thing, but it is something that we want to be paying close attention to because we need to understand the market. With that said, we're going to go ahead and move into Super Chats here, and then we're going to jump on into Ethereum. We're going to be brief on ETH because it looks very similar to Bitcoin, but let's go ahead and do it.
I love Bitcoin.
So the first thing I want to clarify, going back to that Ryan Jenkins one, can you explain the verbiage that we were looking to hear? So just so you guys know, hawkish, dovish. I saw a chat yesterday asking what that meant, and I'm fresh learning that because T. Shroom taught me back when he was here because he spends a lot of time talking. He looks heavily into what's happening in the stock market, what's happening in politics, especially with what's happening monetarily in politics. Hawkish, dovish is the governmental term for what they're going to be coming out with their policies. Hawkish, you could compare to bearish. Hawkish is like, hey, they're getting a little strict. It's gonna be probably to the downside for the financial markets. Dovish is bullish. It's good. It's going to probably pump it. So if they say we're coming out, if they come out hawkish, that means, guys, we heard bearish news. That's bad. Most likely the price is going down. If they come out dovish and they say we're not going to raise interest rates, we're going to stay the same or even lower them, which I don't think they're going to say they're going to lower them. I think they're going to stay the same. That's dovish. That's bullish. Again, I would look for a fake out. But just in case that's what you were asking for, Ryan, the dovish hawkish is an expression used in politics, talking about their fundamental, or talking about their financial
the stance of a regulator. Yeah.
Yeah. We're moving on. We have one. So I at one point knew how to pronounce his name, and I deeply apologize. Nwamaka Idui. She corrected me at one point.
It's Nwamaka, I believe.
I got the first name right. It's Idui or Idui.
Wasn't it just like
told
Maka
us.
that she went by Maka?
She might
The
just go
N
by
is there and
Maka.
it's very subtle.
We
It's
met her on
Maka.
we met her on a webinar.
Anyway, though,
Correct us in chat.
she's been a member now for 3 months as a Jebb
Yay.
Youngling. She said, I taught my first crypto class yesterday in partnership with
Whoa.
Bybit. This channel has played a huge role in my development,
That's
and I am
awesome.
grateful to be here. That's so awesome.
That's
Again,
so cool.
what's really cool is that when I read this, I can visualize her face. Like, we've
Yeah.
seen her.
Yeah, we've
Like,
met her.
I love that.
Yeah, that's so freaking cool.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Rick
for you.
Neff said, should we put some Bitcoin aside today in case of a big crash?
What do you mean by putting Bitcoin aside? That's the question. Are you talking about holding Bitcoin long term? I think it's a great idea to hodl Bitcoin, but
Does it mean like to like take?
Yes.
I mean, whatever
Cash
profits.
portfolio?
Yeah, like
take money
yeah,
out of
take
Bitcoin
money
into
out.
cash?
But he said put it aside.
If you're, I mean, I'm just gonna answer it the way I perceived it. If that's the case, I mean, like if you're not down, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't have anywhere near enough information to really give you an answer on that, to be honest with you.
Speaking of, so I've seen in chat now, Alan Carey said, oh, no, sorry, now Alan Carey said something, but Crypto Sec Guy, or we know him as Jeffrey Fritz, just said, TATM members only chat tomorrow?
Yes.
Yes, we have a
Yes.
members only video tomorrow. So if you're not a member already, that's an encouragement to you to be in that. We've had some great ones getting to answer questions about TA, answer personal questions. That will be tomorrow right after the show, 11:15.
What's something that we can like give them as an appetizer of like what's something that you can expect to see tomorrow?
In the members only live stream, we will tell you guys who I'm going to be interviewing tomorrow.
Have we not confirmed that yet?
We've confirmed it on Twitter, but you kind of got to go and
Oh
dig
yeah,
for
some people don't know who we're
it. Yeah,
interviewing.
a lot of people don't know who we're interviewing
That's true.
tomorrow.
We'll talk
A
about
lot
that.
of people don't know who we're interviewing
Well,
tomorrow. You
let-
might know, but tell us we will tell you in the members only chat tomorrow. So become a member if you want to find out.
That's right. I was thinking even maybe taking it a little deeper.
Okay.
I was gonna say maybe a Tim hairline reveal.
Oh,
We did that already.
We did that. We did that on stream.
Did you do it?
Yeah.
Were you not here?
Dang it! I wasn't here for the reveal.
We did
What?
that. I have
I wasn't
hair.
Here.
Oh yeah, T-Shroom was running the board that day.
Yeah.
Dang it, man!
Oh, that's
I missed
funny.
the T-shirt.
You
I
see
missed
my
the
hair all the time.
No, I don't.
That's
I've
pretty
never
funny.
seen it.
All right, Simpleman699 said, guys, many ETH are burned, so there will be less. Will this happen to ADA as well or other coins?
To my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, anyone in the room, I don't think Ethereum has become deflationary after EIP 1559
not
yet.
yet, at
Its inflation rate has slowed down. People have mistakenly called that deflationary. It's not a deflationary cryptocurrency. Bitcoin isn't even a deflationary cryptocurrency. It's a cryptocurrency that has a scale for its inflation to slow down, but it's not deflationary unless there's more coins being destroyed than there are being mined, and I don't know that exact ratio. But at this point, no, that's not the case for Ethereum.
Let's see here.
Can I ask actually a clarifying question for that?
Sure.
For anybody who might be confused. What exactly do you mean by burning coins in deflationary? How does that work?
Right. So the way that and I'm not a blockchain developer. I'm going to be upfront with that. I am a technical analyst, so I might not be the best one to explain this. The way that EIP 1559 rolled out is it added a bunch of different things to the Ethereum blockchain, and one of the things that it did is it added in an Ethereum coin burn mechanic. So whenever you transact with Ethereum, some of the Ethereum that you pay in fees gets burned, so it gets taken out of the ecosystem, and it slows down the inflation rate because as you mine Ethereum, because it's still proof of work right now, as you mine Ethereum, new Ethereum is created and put into the ecosystem. That's where the 90 million Ethereum or however many there are in circulation came from, is through the mining process. When you transact in it, you burn some of those Ethereum. There's 120 million ETH in existence. Whenever you transact some of them, whenever you track Ethereum, some of that Ethereum gets burned and basically just gets destroyed, and that causes the inflation rate to go down. So let's say, for example, 10,000 Ethereum are made every single day, 5,000 are burned through the transaction fees, then the total growth of the Ethereum circulating supply every single day is 5,000. That's just an example number to get the point across. Those are not the real numbers. That's kind of how that works, though. It's not made Ethereum deflationary, at least to my knowledge, but it has slowed down the inflation of Ethereum. So those are two different things. Instead of going down, it's just went from up to a little up.
I think it's important also to know that to note that Matic or Polygon recently enacted also an upgrade on their chain with the EIP 1559. So they'll be doing coin burns as well on their protocol. So that's something to watch out for when you're looking into any investments or trades with Matic.
We got two more super chats, then we'll move on. Ryan Jenkins, he confirmed, he said, thank you guys for your intent to thoroughly answer my questions. Tim especially nailed it. Thank you. You guys are phenomenal. Stay humble. It's your strength. God bless.
Thank you so very much. I really appreciate that. That's what we're trying to do. Humility is a core value.
I want to be transparent, actually. May and I were talking about it. I actually want to almost publicly apologize to people. I think there's in moments for me specifically, I've gotten a little at times not humble. I wouldn't say ridiculously prideful necessarily, but the opposite of humility is pride. So if I've been prideful recently, I want to repent to you guys because what he just said is absolutely true. Humility. If I stop being humble, I cease to be the Tim that I was made to be, and the person that made people like those who love me. You came on and loved me because of my humility and my willingness to grow. Jebb too. So like, man, like I just remind us on the set right now and remind you guys, like, hey, like catch us. If you see pride building up inside of us,
call it out.
Call it out.
Yeah.
Please. I would love that.
Absolutely.
Tom Wilkes.
I've definitely struggled with that.
Then let me just say this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I actually don't like waking up at 5 a.m. I just have to put that out there.
All right, last one. Tom Wilkes said, do you equate the Lux Algo signals on the 1 to 12-hour charts, but not on the 1 to 3-day charts to be a bullish anticipation to the Fed news coming later today? Ugh, I take it to be that there's a bounce going on, but we can't take that as a trend reversal yet. There's a tertiary movement to the upside, and it needs to turn to a secondary. So the primary movement is a bull market. The secondary movement, which is smaller than the bull market, is the downtrend we've been in for the last 2.5 months. And then the tertiary movement that is smaller than the downtrend is a small uptrend. That's the movement that we've been in over the last 2-3 days. That tertiary movement needs to turn into a secondary movement. Yeah. That's what my take is. Also, Lux Algo has no idea what the news is going to be. So
yeah, Lux Algo is not responsive to the news. That's not the way that works. So yeah, absolutely. Hi, guys, you revealed the interview guest last week. We revealed the internet.
So if you were there, then you know.
We revealed it on Twitter. I don't think we revealed it on stream.
Yeah, Twitter we let people know. So if people want to go back and
you kind of got to go and dig for it. Follow me at CryptoJebb on Twitter. You can definitely
or you can just become a member and go to the.
Or you can just become a member and join the members only Q&A tomorrow. Man, those are so much fun. Anyway, guys, I am going to speed run Ethereum because I want to get back to our discussion here, and Ethereum hasn't changed a whole lot since yesterday. Right now, Ethereum is bouncing off of the 0.786 support level around $2,400. Saw some people in chat saying, man, I hope Ethereum goes back to $1,770, and I actually agree with that. I would love for Ethereum to go back to $1,700, and you might be wondering, Jebb, why would you want Ethereum to go back to $1,700? Here's why. If you look at the total value locked, and I'm going to have to bring up DeFi Llama, so go to full screen real quick, Smay, so I can go to my thing and find this. If I go to DeFiLlama.com, we can look at the total value locked on the Ethereum chain. Let's just take a look at this right now. What's up? I can go now? Yeah, you can go now. You can show me. You can show the screen now. If you look at TVL over on Ethereum on July 20th, let's take a look at July 20th. Where was TVL on July 20th? It was roughly at $82 billion. Right now, on the dip, we're seeing $120 billion in TVL, and we eventually went up to $160 billion in TVL. If you don't know what total value locked is, that's money in all of the different layer 2 protocols that are on Ethereum. So we're looking at Curve, MakerDAO, Convex Finance, Wrapped BTC, Aave, Uniswap, Compound, Yearn Finance, all of these different projects. That's where the TVL is. There's like 17 billion in Curve, CRV. So this TVL is very important. It's a very important metric because it tells us the utilization of the layer 2 ecosystem for Ethereum. And the reason that that's important is because Ethereum is an infrastructure. It's like the interstate highway system. It provides tools and mechanisms and connectivity and platforms and protocols and programming languages for people to be able to make protocols. You see how that works? A lot of P's in that sentence. And so whenever people are using this platform, it allows for people to profit. I feel like V for Vendetta right now. Has anyone here ever seen that movie, V for Vendetta?
Yes.
Do you remember the scene I'm talking about where he's like, he's only saying words with V? He's only saying words with V. Yes. That's what I feel like I'm doing right now. But anyway, what I would love to see is for Ethereum to drop down to 1,700, and the reason is because the fundamentals have grown. You see what I mean? The fundamentals have grown. It's just true. The fundamentals have grown so much. And this Ethereum TVL shows us that if we were to go down to $1,700, we would be overextended bearish compared to where we were back here. So if we went down to 1,700 right now, that would be like Ethereum going down to like 1,500 or 1,200 back in July, just because the utilization of the network has gone up so much. So that means that we would have a major bounce, and we would more than likely have a major rally. So I'd actually love for Ethereum to go back to 1,750. I'd love for Ethereum to go back, or for Bitcoin to go back to 30K. But I would love to see a V bottom down there. I don't want us to stay down there.
I think that the comparison there is Ethereum will hit 1,750 if Bitcoin hits like 24, 25.
Yeah.
I think Ethereum will probably end up bouncing around 2,000 if Bitcoin goes back to 330. But I think they're going to move semi-similar. And the case for Ethereum to 1,750, we're probably also looking at a Bitcoin 25.
Yep. Remember, the 5th of November. That was the all-time high date that we all remember. I forgot. I tried. I really did. I tried. Let's go ahead and jump into discussion, though. Tim, I want to ask you this question. What is your favorite Layer 1 decentralized application protocol?
Oh, gosh. I don't
put you on the
know.
spot. We got Phantom, we got AVAX, we got Cardano, we got
Yeah.
Avalanche, we got not ADAX, I'm sorry, AVAX, we got
Yeah.
Solana, we got all of them.
He's gonna say Cardano.
I did say
yeah,
Cardano.
like
No, he's gonna say
no,
Cardano.
he's predicting what my answer is,
okay.
and he's 100% right. And you want to know why? Is because I need to do more research on those other projects. I have poured a lot of my research time into technical analysis, and then also, I say my research time, I still have a full-time job. I have to get other stuff done here. But when I'm trying to learn, I am trying not to spread myself too thin. I'm trying to go deep with where I am right now. And I'm getting close to where I want to start branching out and research. I am a little bit branching out and doing more research on white papers and different things to understand the technology and the purposes of different projects. But I'm just going to be honest. Cardano's the one that I put way more attention into. It's the one that's talked about way more often, so it's easier to do research on and to understand and to learn. But I don't say that to think that those other ones are not good. I want to do my due diligence and learn. But until I've done my due diligence, I'm going to ride with Cardano.
So I'm going to accuse you here. Are you saying that Cardano is better than Ethereum?
I like it better than Ethereum. I do. I don't think that means the price is going to go higher. I'm just saying as a project, you asked me which one I liked better. I think there's going to be a day where crypto is, the price is still relevant. People are still going to invest, but it's going to be way more like, man, that is really cool. I love using that company for things. I love using Cardano and their projects for things. It doesn't mean their stock price is higher than Ethereum's. It doesn't mean that that's different. It just means I like Cardano. And I think if that continues to rise and more people agree with that, then Cardano's price will surpass, their market cap will surpass Ethereum's. But I don't think that those have to be the same. I don't think that just because I like Cardano better than Ethereum, that all of a sudden the market cap will be higher.
Absolutely. Well, Tim, I want to ask you another question. How important is it for people in the cryptocurrency space to pay attention to what's going on in the traditional financial markets, such as what's going on in the Fed, such as what's going on in oil markets, or what's going on in geopolitics? How important is it for us to pay attention to not just crypto news, but also the rest of the world's news? It's
important. It's hard. It's like I just said, it's really hard to dive deep into a lot of things. It's why you got to do the best you can to do your research, find people you trust, and it's that's why you don't shoot for perfection. Mm-hmm. I mean, shoot for it, why not? But don't be upset when you don't hit it, because if you knew everything about everything, yes, you'd be the most perfect human being that ever existed. That's not it. You're not going to be that. So learn to go deep into things that you really can go deep in, and then find people you trust to help you stretch, but don't expect to be the foremost expert in all of those things.
Absolutely. Well, Smay, I want to ask you a question, because you have a super fan in chat named JT, I think
yeah,
it is.
I know.
Who's like, we want to see more Smay. We want to see more Smay. So Smay, I have a
noticed.
question for you.
Yeah.
What will it take to get us out of the turtle market?
What will it take? Well, I've said it before, and I'm standing by it. I think it's going to take... Now, this is just a prediction, I guess I'll say, but it's going to take a big, big story. And my idea of what that big story is, at this point, that's going to have enough firepower, is it's going to be somebody of influence. I think it's going to be someone who has the ear of the people that's going to say, hey, guys, I'm buying Bitcoin. Come along with me. I think that's going to be what it takes. That, or, I mean, obviously... there could be whales that decide to just go crazy. So, that's definitely something that's possible. But I've actually noticed, and I want to do some back analysis on this of like looking at what the news looks like before there's a big whale manipulative movement. What is the way I like my mental picture of it is almost like the minnows that swim around a whale when they're moving. Like when a whale starts to move, before that looks like the whale's even moved, the water's moving, so then all the minnows scurry off, So what does that look like? Is there a catalyst that happens that the whales use as their opportunity, or what is that? So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Is somebody of influence to kind of just come out, and I don't think it's gonna be Elon Musk. I think he's kind of lost his firepower.
He has, I think.
But it's gonna be somebody who's got the ear of the people that say, "Yeah, we're doing it." Maybe it's Amazon. Who knows?
Yeah, Amazon coming out and adopting Bitcoin would be huge. Let me ask you this, Tim. what impact do interest rates from the Federal Reserve have on Bitcoin? Because obviously we knew that interest rates were dropped to near zero. The Fed was trying to raise them from about 2015. They got them up to, I think, around 1%, maybe it was about 1.5%. I have to check the number. And then they dropped them, slammed them straight to the floor. What impact would raising interest rates have on Bitcoin?
It's going to be negative, and that's because Bitcoin is solely seen as an asset to diversify. It is not yet seen as what it really is, and that's a hedge against inflation. So we really should see the price go up when we see inflation pump. And that's not going to pump inflation, actually. It's just we should see Bitcoin go up because it should be the hedge against the dying US dollar. Unfortunately, right now, though, the way finance people work, the way the whales are thinking with their brain is they want to hold as much money as possible. And in a scary time where interest rates are high and it's hard to borrow money, they're going to want to get as much cash on hand as possible. But I as much as this sucks, I'm kind of sitting in a camp of like there's good and bads both ways. If they raise the interest rates, short-term bad. It's going to be bad for crypto. It's going to be bad for a lot of people. But long-term, it's going to fix a lot of problems that we've been setting up. If we don't raise the interest rates, all right, it's good short-term. It's going to make me very happy right now. It's going to make a lot of people very happy right now. And longevity-wise, we're continuing to push the problem down the road. And it's like we're pretty much saying that's tomorrow's problem. And tomorrow's going to make it even bigger.
I really like the injury analogy of like you got a bullet hole in you and you're putting a bandage over it. No matter what the Fed does right now, it's the lesser of two evils right now. Because if they say, okay, we're going to raise interest rates, that's like ripping the bandage off so that you can actually clean the wound, and that's going to be painful. But it's actually a good thing. Now, if they don't raise interest rates, what they're doing is they're saying, okay, we're going to put another Band-Aid on that bullet hole wound. But in the future, instead of it being painful, you're going to get injured. So we're kind of looking at the difference between pain and injury. Injury is long-term. It's something that's going to take a long-term to fix. Pain is short-term. I would much rather go through pain right now, but put us on the right path to help to work and fix the injury by raising interest rates and allowing for the market to have higher interest rates, slow down the QE, which is the money printing, the quantitative easing. Slow that all down, slow the market down, and allow for the market to heal a little bit rather than just slapping another bandage on it. So I hope they move it up. I believe they already put it to 0.25. I think they're talking about putting it to 0.5% interest rates. That would actually be my preferred option, but it would be short-term painful and scary and fudding, and it would cause the market to drop. So I actually hope that the Federal Reserve does raise interest rates because it's going to be it's the responsible decision, put it that way. It is going to hopefully help us to prevent future injury, which is already too late for that, but an increase in future injury at the expense of it being painful in the short term. So that's the way I'm looking at it, and it is going to be very, very interesting to see what's going to happen there. Whenever it happens, I'll tweet about it. We're thinking about coming on the show. We haven't promised that yet, but we might come back on the channel after they announce that and talk about it if it is a big, big news story. Otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow. But Tim, do you have any final thoughts on that?
You know, we talked about it a little bit ago. We're not going to go deep into this, but how about the Elon news with Dogecoin and McDonald's? That's been kind of funny to watch. Just those responses. I actually low-key, as much as I'm not a Doge fan,
I'll show it on screen.
I hope that Tesla starts accepting Dogecoin to watch Elon Musk eat the Happy Meal.
Yep.
I think that's funny. You can say what you want about Elon Musk, love him, hate him, whatever. I do think he's very influential. I do think Smay, I think, said he doesn't think that's a massive pull. If he comes out super bullish on Bitcoin, there are some people who don't really know Elon's history with Bitcoin that will get involved in Bitcoin if he comes out bullish again.
That's not necessarily what I was saying. I think he's. I don't know if he necessarily has the same gravitational pull to
just
push us to
I was talking to my dad. I was talking to my dad, who said the reason he started thinking about Bitcoin was when Elon Musk.
Well, of course.
A lot of people did.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, and so there's people that don't know that. But I'm saying, so those of us who have been around here who know Elon Musk's story with Bitcoin are going to say, oh, here comes Elon Musk again. But other people are going to say, oh, Elon Musk says buy Bitcoin? Oh, I missed it the first time. Yeah, okay, it's time to do it. You know?
Well, I will say I did an interview with somebody on the street for a show that shall not be named back in the day. And I asked him, I said, do you own any Bitcoin? He said, I did, but I got rid of it all, and I'm not interested in buying more. And I was like, why? He's like, well, because I bought when Elon first said to buy, and then when they stopped accepting Bitcoin, he sold. And he now is completely never going to, not never, but he was just completely off of Bitcoin. So that's why I'm like, I think there's gonna be a lot of people that are soured by it, and maybe because they're like, oh, I sold, and then it's like, Oh, well, now Elon's happy about it again. What, am I going to flip-flop with him?
Yeah.
You know,
no,
so.
he said on Twitter, I will eat at, by the way, anyone who doesn't know what happened, Elon tweeted yesterday evening or yesterday morning, I will eat a Happy Meal on TV if at McDonald's accepts Dogecoin. And then some of these responses are so funny. Burger King, trying to be all down with the kids, said, only a king knows what da coin do. that is literally the official Burger King account said,
Dude,
only a king knows what da coin do.
Fast food restaurants, whoever they've put in charge of their Twitter, Wendy's has one of the best.
They're
Twitter
so
people.
funny.
Like,
Wendy's is hilarious. They're coming out
gosh.
swinging. No, it's great. And then speaking of Wendy O, who I know, said, I will eat a Frosty on my YouTube channel if Wendy's accepts Dogecoin. And then Dogecoin responded with this GIF right here. This is really funny. Much wow with the McDonald's. And then I forgot what McDonald's said. I think they said if you who knows what McDonald's said. I'm trying to find their tweet, but they responded to Elon Musk and they said something about Grimace.
Yeah,
Grimace
it's the top one. Was it the top one?
Wasn't it? It wasn't there.
There's a picture of it.
Purple. It was a purple one at the very top.
Go back to McDonald's Twitter.
Oh, go back to
I'm
McDonald's.
watching
Purple
you.
chicken nugget.
Oh,
There you go, right there.
only if Tesla accepts Grimace coin. Yeah,
Grimace
there you go.
coin, that's what it was. They
That's
had to
so
accept-
funny.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And
I love
that'll
these
be
big
the end of
fast.
that.
I love these fast food companies and the people that run these fast food companies. Twitter is so funny. And by the way, who follows McDonald's on Twitter? Who are these 4.4 million people following
I like to be
McDonald's?
cultured, and I like to know when they're dropping the next McChicken flavor. So
I just want to know.
When's the McRib coming back?
I just want to
When's the
know who's
McRib
following
coming back?
McDonald's. I just want to know. Oh, this is funny.
They
Anyway.
just earned a follow from me, honestly.
Yeah, you know what? I'll follow.
You
I'll follow
convinced
you,
me.
McDonald's.
Dude,
You
follow
convinced me,
Taco Bell. Follow Taco Bell.
Follow Taco Bell.
Also, hold on. Can I just say,
Taco
what the
Bell.
heck? Why is there McDonald's and then McDonald's Corporation? What is the difference?
I don't know. Oh, McDonald's Corporation only has 171. That's sad.
Ew,
Anyway,
dude, those crispy chicken sandwiches that are supposed to be the next McChicken, they suck,
Oh
dude.
my
This show is
They
getting
are
away
a
from us.
ripoff.
yeah, this show's getting away
gotta
from us. We're
pull
gonna
this
reel it
back
back in.
in.
Let's go
Yeah.
ahead and wrap out
Alright,
with some
sorry.
super chats, and then we're gonna move, and then we're gonna wrap it out.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I just really hate those chicken sandwiches, dude.
Jeremiah's 0007 said, good morning, guys. Good morning, Jeremiah.
Morning.
Jimmy Void, sit down, talking truth, said XRP will open the bull run. We'll see. Yeah,
We'll see, maybe.
If they can settle that lawsuit.
If they can get a tweet out from McDonald's.
Yeah, Cryptosaurus Rex said, good morning, Crypto Jebb crew. Great show this morning. Thank you all for the hard work you each put into providing the masses with crypto knowledge. WAGM.
I've seen that acronym.
I don't know if I know
and I
what
can't
that
remember what
means.
that means.
WAGM.
What a good morning.
What a good morning.
Oh,
What a good morning. Maybe that's what it is. I have
Let's
no
say-
idea.
It convinced
Dude,
me, you know.
thinking on your feet.
Thinking
Yeah.
on my
Also,
feet, I
you're
got
not
no
wearing
idea.
any shoes.
Let us know in
You're
chat.
right. None of us are
Well,
wearing
none
shoes.
of us are. Yeah,
we all
it's a-
decided to take our shoes off
No
right before we went
shoes
streaming.
show.
Yeah.
He
No, I
literally was
literally
thinking.
2 seconds before the stream was live, I was like trying to take. Yeah. It was anyway.
All right.
No shoe show.
What we do need to do before we end out and before you wrap up the show, I will update people on price predictions. For those of you who are new, because I'm sure we have some new viewers, thank you for joining us today. Thank you
Yeah.
for being here. If this is something you loved being a part of, consider, first of all, hitting the like button, then hit that subscribe button. And if you really love, join that membership group and be a part of that membership meeting tomorrow, that video tomorrow. But what I'm about to announce is our HODL Trophy prediction. So every Tuesday, the four of us predict what we think Bitcoin's going to be at on Friday at 9:30. This is not for financial gain. We're not making investments based off of it. It's super hard to predict what anything's going to be at a specific point in time that's like 4 days away. But these are the updates to what we have. Kelly said 42,367. Tim said 39,500. Smay said 33,800. Jebb said 33,250. So at the moment, I'm in the lead, but it is Wednesday.
My
that
dudes.
means nothing.
Wednesday,
What
my
matters
dudes.
is Friday at 9:30. So make sure you stay tuned to see who wins this week's HODL Trophy. That's all I have, Jebb. You can wrap us out, and we can
Guys,
say good day.
Thank you very much for watching the #1 analysis show in cryptocurrency. We're all going to make it is what it stands for. What a good morning. That was a good try because it is morning, but we're all going to make it. That's what it stands for. And by the way, just thank you guys to all of our members. And by the way, a lot of you guys, somebody said in chat, Mike Markle just said in chat, this just turned into a members only Q&A, a members only stream. That's kind of what members only
true.
streams
They
look
like
like.
that.
That was about 5 minutes of what a members only stream looks like. So make sure you hit that join button, become a member, and tune in. We do that members only stream once every 2 weeks. So much fun. We get to join with all of our members. We have a lot of fun. It's just, it is the most incredible time ever. So make sure you become a member. And by the way, don't forget, sign up for Lux Algo. It is a phenomenal technical indicator package. It has been ridiculously helpful for me figuring out whenever the market is going into an uptrend or a downtrend. You can find the link at the top of the description box down below. Use coupon code Jebb, JEBB for 20% off at checkout. If you make one trade based on Lux Algo, it's going to pay for itself for the next 6-12 months. Like, for real, it is a very, very valuable technical indicator. I've always said the best investment you will ever make is an investment in yourself. That's not just education, that's not just your identity, but it's also in your toolkit. If you're a carpenter, you need a good hammer. If you're a neurologist, you need a good, whatever neurologists use. You need a good brain scan. You know, if you're any kind of professional, you need certain tools. That's why we have tools that we can offer you guys. Lux Algo is a great tool. TradingView is a great tool. MarketSite, all these tools linked in the description box down below. You want to get them, and it helps to support our channel whenever you do. So make sure you sign up for Lux Algo with the link in the description box down below. Smash that like button. Follow us on our social medias, especially Twitter, @CryptoJebb. Also CryptoJebb on Instagram. @CryptoJebbOfficial over on TikTok. We post over there every single day. But guys, that's all we got for you today. Before we go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good